Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Burgh Cave. It's Dudek here, sitting here. I got my brew, and I'm ready to talk some Steelers football, a little SOS. Are fans panicking? Are they a little too emotional already in 2025? We're going to get into that here in a minute. But before we do, if you like hanging with the fellas, sharing a brew, talking some ball, and just being able to escape the world for a little bit, if you like that, if you like being a part of these man cave conversations, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to our videos, help us spread the man cave love, if you will. We welcome everybody into the man cave, no matter what team you like, what your opinions are of the Pittsburgh Steelers, Pitt Panthers, Penn State Nittany Lions, whatever you like, and also what kind of beers or drinks you like. It doesn't matter. Come on into the man cave, join the fellas, be a part of the conversations, and let's just have a good time, okay? 2025 is off to a hot start and a predictable start for the Pittsburgh Steelers media and the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. Not as predictable for the damn team, but the way the fans and the media are and have been, boy, is it predictable. I saw everybody on the media, on the Twitters, on the Facebooks. Week 1 W over the New York Jets. Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Super Bowl. I saw a lot of Pittsburgh Steelers and Green Bay Packers art, if you will, a dream Super Bowl matchup. I mean, yeah, that would be, but that was after week 1. In typical fashion, week 2, the Steelers lose. Steelers suck. Fire everybody. This is going to be a 3-14 season, and we are now going to be singing the first Mike Tomlin losing season all over again. Welcome to Steelers Nation. And we have a lot more to say about the Seattle Seahawks game and the state of the Steelers. If you want more opinions from myself and from the fellas, don't forget, tune in Wednesday night, Burgh Cave live from 8 to 9 p.m. on YouTube and on Millions.co sports platform. Bring your comments, questions. Let's have a brew together and interact and talk some Steelers football. But for tonight, the hot topic, Mike Tomlin. I personally like Mike Tomlin. I think he's a great coach. I think he's a great motivator. I think he is a great leader of men. And if you follow this channel, earlier in the summer, as we were gearing up for football season, I was talking to my buddy Larry. I was talking to others. I said that last year, my opinions and my thoughts of Mike Tomlin were starting to turn the corner just a little bit due to that collapse from last year and just the way that the team had played. I know there were some injuries, and again, the defense got a little bit worn down because of the ineptitude of the offense down the stretch. But it just the eyeball test, and there's bad taste in my mouth from the way the Steelers finished that season. I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to get with the Yinzers in the media on Fire Tomlin. I'm on the Fire Tomlin bus. I was on the Fire Tomlin bus. I didn't sit down, but I was standing there holding the pole. I was going along for the ride. The next stop, I kind of came to my senses, my personal sentences, and I got right back off and said, you know what? Let's run this back and let's go ahead and build for 2025. I did want some changes, and we'll talk about this more on Wednesday. I did want Pat Meyer gone. Terrell Austin, I'm hot and cold on him as a DC. But what I will not tolerate about Mike Tomlin is all of the disrespectful comments that I hear from the media and from the fans. And these comments are questioning this man's integrity and his abilities. And one comment that really irks me and gets under my damn skin is Mike Tomlin win and has won with Cowers players. That is so disrespectful. So disrespectful. You could not like the man's coaching abilities. You could not be a fan of him. That's fine. That is 100% in your opinion. But to say another man only won because of someone else's players, every year is different. And I'm sorry, if it wasn't for the damn tackle in Indianapolis, Bill Cowher would have 0 Super Bowls. So what kind of team did he inherit? The same team that went 8-8 after the Super Bowl win. It's not like he inherited a team that won back-to-back Super Bowls. He inherited a flawed team too. And if you look at the statistics defensively, the smartest thing that Tomlin did do was keep Dick LeBeau. And if you look at the defensive rankings, you will see Tomlin's imprint on that defense. What was it? The rushing defense and the passing defense rankings essentially flipped. He won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay as a secondary coach. Another comment that I do not like is Mike Tomlin only cares about non-losing seasons. Are you freaking kidding me? You really think that's his goal, to go 9-8 or 10-7 and be good? Now, some argue that the Rooneys shouldn't accept that, and I get it. Listen, 8 years, maybe 9 years, if this year it falls in the same boat of not winning a playoff game, yeah, that's not acceptable. But what's not acceptable is accusing a man that that's all he doesn't care about that. He just cares about losing seasons. That's stupid. Stupid. Fans and media sure let their damn emotions get to the best of them. They say really dumb things. And in my opinion, they sit there and they think, and this is more on the media than it is the fans, that, you know what, I'm the tell it like it is guy or gal, and I'm going to tell you this is just how it is. This is not Steeler football. This, that, that's this. And I want to call out one person who I saw on the Twitters. And I'm going to read a quote. And these type of quotes or these type of tweets, I'm sorry, I don't know how people can literally take anything serious that these people say anymore. Now, again, I say this is just my opinion. And I want people to understand I'm saying this from my opinion. I am not saying that these are bad people. I'm not saying that, they're less intelligent or anything like that. I'm just saying these are stupid freaking tweets. Chris Dockish, my man, he put out a tweet yesterday around 5 o'clock, about 4:46 p.m. Simply put, Tomlin, 1, he's bad with QBs. Inexplicably bad with defenses. The hell does that mean? Bad at hiring assistants. Outside of Todd Haley, who everybody wanted to run out of this town after he was at a top 3 and 5 offense, and Carl Dunbar. You can make some arguments of all the other assistants are average at best. You're not going to get an argument from me there. I think that is a bugaboo of Mike Tomlin. Players don't have discipline. They're too chummy. How the frick do you know? What the hell does that mean they're too chummy? Again, this is where you're attacking a man's integrity for no reason other than to make a point that you don't like Mike Tomlin. Stupid. Bad and uninvolved game coach. How the hell do you know? Seriously. And I've seen other tweets out there. When has Mike Tomlin made an adjustment at halftime ever in his career? Most of these people wouldn't know an adjustment if it slapped him in the damn face. You don't know what the hell you're talking about. It was like uninvolved game coach. He's not great at drafting. Okay, sure. Then it means he has no good players then, right? And then he has too much power. No, his power is so very selective with what fans and media say. If it's a good draft, Omar Khan, great job. If it's a bad draft pick and say he fizzles out after 2 years, that's stupid Tomlin pick. Did the same thing with the last couple of drafts that Kevin Colbert was here. Not very good drafts. So that's because Tomlin has too much power. You're not going to blame Kevin Colbert for this? And then some other schmuck down here put, and you also forgot time management and challenges. Yes, I will agree the challenges are terrible. My man, Tomlin is terrible, has a terrible record with challenges. You're not going to get any argument with me on that one. So we're right here with the damn challenges. We got that. So here's a question to Dockish and all the other people that like this. All 1,900 people that liked this stupid tweet. He's bad with QBs. Can't coach defense. He can't hire assistants. He doesn't draft very well. He's too chummy with his players. He's an uninvolved game coach. He has too much power. He can't do time management. He loses challenges all the time, which he does. Answer me one question, Dockish and 1,900 of your fans? Answer me this. All of that is true. How does this man win 60% of his games at the highest level of football? How? All of that being true, how does he win games? Because we're how many years we removed from Cowers players? How does he win? See, when you say stupid shit like this, anything else you say, I don't believe you. I can't believe any opinions you may have, and you may have great opinions on other things. And I see you've wrote for Pitt and others as well too. You may do a great job with that, and you may do some great things writing about the Steelers. But this tweet right here, bro, stupid. And, your 1,900 fans that liked it, stupid. You can hate me if you want. That's just my personal opinion. You guys can have your opinions. Please don't lose sight of that, because you're going to forget that I said some of this stuff. Please, I love Steeler Nation. I love Steeler Nation. But, man, your emotions, stop it. Just stop it. I say all of that. And, again, I told you guys at the beginning of this rant, I started turning the corner on Mike Tomlin last year. Started to. And I understand the frustration with Mike Tomlin. I understand the disappointment fans and media have with Mike Tomlin. Doesn't warrant that kind of crap. But I understand. But with a lot of people, he's such a lightning rod. Now, people forget the logical sense of football. And what is that? Winning and losing is a team. It's a collective team. Players and coaches. That's what football is. You don't lose because of one man. You don't win because of one man. You win and lose as a collective. Every single play, there's 11 players out there. If one person's not doing his job, it all goes to shit. All goes to shit. And again, we're going to talk more about that because there was a couple plays in the Seattle game where one person didn't do their job and it went to shit. One man in the Pittsburgh media that I admire a lot. This man has a lot of integrity. He has a lot of logic and deep thought before he hits send. And he's a great follow for Pittsburgh Steelers football, and that's David Todd. David, if you ever do see this man, I love your brother. You do a great, great job. I suggest everybody follow this man. He put out a tweet yesterday. I want to read this, and this is something that I think is spot on. And I'm going to read this word for word. I bang this drum frequently and going to do it again. Steelers coaches deserve criticism. Correct. They do. 100% do. But as with every sport, 80 to 90% of the credit or blame goes to the man in the arena. The players deserve a bulk of the criticism. The defense has been horrible. Yes, it has. Special teams, aside from the kickers, Boz and Waitman, the punter, are bad. And the offense has been uneven. One good game, one not so good game. Sure, the coaching needs to be better. It certainly does. But most of the blame should be on the guys between the lines. 100% accurate. The guys between the lines. Why don't we ever blame them? No, according to everybody else, he can't draft players anyway. So if his players suck, then I guess you can't blame him. He's out there coaching with a bunch of bums. They have no business even being in the NFL. He's just drafting low to below average players that he likes to play spades with and go out to dinner with and be chummy. So why is he even win? There's no way he could win. Seriously. David Todd, that was a great, great tweet. And guys, when you're watching the Steelers, yes, criticize the coaches. There was a lot of issues with the game in Seattle. And again, we will talk about this more on our live on Wednesday night with the fellas. please understand, the players are just as much to blame that as well as the coaches. I don't understand why this gets lost. I really don't. But I will say this, and to kind of close out this little rant here, because I told you, and David Todd even said on his tweet, you need to criticize the coaches. I do like Mike Tomlin, but he is not above criticism, obviously. I just can't stand the emotional crap and the disrespectful stuff that goes this man's way. But this year, if you watch the channel, I said, I am on record, I'm going to put it on record again, if he does not win a playoff game this year with this talent, health aside, it might be time to go. Because what better way would you have to start over than with a draft at your hometown with 12 picks? A really solid rookie quarterback already on the roster, and you could go get another one in the draft. So it could be the perfect exit if things don't go well. And that's why GB and others were saying, you know what? The Steelers are going all in for 2025, and they're going to have 12 draft picks. We're having their cake and eat it too. It's a perfect transition year, if you will, to bring in a new coaching staff if things do not work out this year. And I would definitely co-sign that. No playoff win, I would co-sign moving on from Mike Tomlin. So I want everybody to understand that. After the game on Sunday, the media was interviewing Patrick Queen. And Patrick Queen is normally a very outspoken player. You ask him a question, you're going to get a soundbite. And the media was asking him, how can we fix the defense? And there was a lot of scripted answers or no answers, like a no comment. To me, that could be a sign of some cracks in the team. Right? How many times has Tomlin lost the locker room too, right? That's another stupid thing. But it's possible that there could be some cracks here in 2025. And the way I'm reading into this from the optics and from experience in the locker room, when a player answers a question about what's going on the field, especially after a game where you struggled, you're either answering in a no comment fashion or something of that nature because there's a big disagreement between the players. Somebody's screwing up assignments, and you don't want to talk about it in the media. And again, let's face it, they're not going to sit there and say, oh, hey, we got to shift our line. We got to start stunting more. No. New England's watching, Minnesota's watching, everybody. They're not going to give away that level of detail to the media. So it could be some riffing with the players and assignments, which happened last year. That kind of communication I would put on Terrell Austin and, frankly, Mike Tomlin, if that's the case. But we don't know that. The second thing is there's a disagreement with the players and the scheme. The players don't agree with the scheme that's being ran. That very well may be the case. It very well may not be. We don't know. This is just me guessing here because it's not like Patrick Queen to give such blank, short answers that don't really give any detail. I hope it's not that one, but it could be. But that is a sign that there could be a crack in the defense. No, it's week 2. It can be fixed. But I am very, very concerned about that. There's way too much talent on his defense for them to be performing that way. I'm going to take a drink for this one. Because I told you how much I like Mike Tomlin. And the reason I said there could be potential cracks also has to do with this quote he had after the game. Now, maybe let me walk that back a little bit. Maybe it's not a crack, but it's turning that wheel I was talking about a little bit more for me. And this quote I want to read for word. Has a lot of Tomlinisms in them, which some people like and some people don't like. But it was Mike Tomlin on the improvements from game 1 to game 2. I don't know that you can do anything dramatically different procedurally or during the process of readiness. I just think that the mystique of preparation to play is now lost once you've been in the stadium. I don't know. I don't know. So there is much more teeth in the work that you do during the course of the week. They know where it's going to lead. The same plays that we ran during the week last week, we repped in the game, and they got to feel the result of that work. I think you approach the next week with a different spirit, having been through that cycle, and so it's like that. And so it's not like we make dramatic adjustments or the procedure itself is dramatically different. I just think that we will all grow from experience, and the mystique is lost once you've been in a stadium individually and collectively. That is a lot of coach speak and Tomlinisms that, quite frankly, don't make a lot of sense. Where he has a good point is it's week 2. You don't junk everything and start all over from scratch. There are some instances that I think some schematic things could change. And again, we will talk more about this on Wednesday. There could be some other personnel moves. And again, we're all waiting for Harmon to come back. I think there's a shot he could come back for New England. Deshaun Elliott to come back. I don't know how much that fixes it, but that quote that Mike Tomlin said, I don't know if he's just saying that just to, again, how I was talking about Patrick Queen just saying things to the media, you're not going to give them a lot. Some of that, I get that there he's not giving the media a lot, but I really hope it's not of, you know what, we're going to do what we do, and this is just our defense, which I know Julian Edelman has said some of that. Because let's not forget, last year, they didn't give up 63 points until like game 5 or so. This defense was balling out last year. But I do think, if you guys remember, Super Bowl 30 against the Dallas Cowboys, the Steelers lost that game. But the Cowboys were never the same after that offensively. They exposed how to beat and how to stop the Cowboys offense. The Steelers defense balled out for the most part last year. Philadelphia is an anomaly, right? They discredit them or discount them, excuse me. Don't discredit them, discount them in the evaluation. I think Baltimore may have exposed how to attack this Steelers defense, just like the Raiders did back in 2001 with Rich Gannon, Jerry Rice, Tim Brown. They kind of exposed how to attack that Blitzburgh, that early 2000 Blitzburgh defense built by LeBeau and Cowher. Is this, and I'm getting ahead of myself here because I will save some of this stuff here for Wednesday, but is this a blueprint that the Ravens gave on how to beat the Steelers defense, especially from a run game perspective? I don't know. I sure as hell hope not. And if that's the case and they're not making any adjustments, like what Tomlin was saying, that is a big issue. My personal opinion of Tomlin will not change. I don't care what happens this year. But if the Steelers do not make the playoffs and have a playoff win with this talent, as long as they stay relatively healthy, I am co-signing. I'm not going to say dumb shit on Twitter, but I am co-signing with saying, you know what, maybe it is time to go. Maybe it is. But hey, week 2. RELAX. Relax. Or as we say in Pittsburgh, simmer down. Simmer down. Dudek, man. So that was my rant. Hope everybody enjoyed that. Again, please, everybody keep your opinions coming. I love the banter. I hope please let me know what you guys think of my rant here in the comments. Am I full of shit, or do you agree with what I say? What did you like and did not like about this episode? Please comment below. Follow me on Twitter at Burgh Cave and the whole crew of people that are on the Burgh Cave, man. Hope to see everybody here for Wednesday night, 8 p.m. live here on YouTube and on Millions. Cheers, everyone. We'll see you guys on the next one. Go Steelers.